What is up, guys? It is Stab, and we are finally back. It has been a very long time. I hope you guys are excited, because I know I am. We are here to announce the Season 5 Stab League application, and some changes for the season, of course. I'm with my man Danza, the commissioner of the Surge League, which is also making a return to the Stab League this season. Say hello, Danza.
Good evening, sports fan. Throwback to the win. Danza here.
Yeah, support Danza at the GBA. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and tell you guys some details, tell you kind of what we're rocking with this season, and also probably what you guys are most interested in, which is the season changes between Season 4. Alright, so what is the Stab League? I know a lot of you have probably heard of it at this point, or at least I hope, quote-unquote, a lot of you have. But if you're not familiar with us, we are a draft-based Pokemon League that was founded in 2016. It's been 3 years already. That's pretty awesome. Wow. We began with 8 teams, and then we expanded to 16 teams in Season 4. If you guys don't know the story, basically it started with me, myself, and several of my quote-unquote IRL friends in a little league, just to get them used to competitive Pokemon, see if they liked it, kind of show them what I do. That was the 8 initial teams, and then we slowly expanded from there, kind of into the community, in the public eye, and as well as the number of teams that we have each season. Last season, being Season 4, was our first season with 16 teams. It was a really cool experience, a lot different from my perspective as commissioner, and then just playing in the league in general. Fun experience. We were back with 16 teams this season, to not get too far ahead of ourselves. Like I mentioned earlier, Surge format is making a return. We had a lot of positive feedback and a lot of fun doing that, so Dan's is back to lead that portion of the league again. Once again, the Stab League, if you guys didn't know, we're mainly focused on introducing newer players to the format. That's not to say if you're kind of experienced, you've got a couple seasons under your belt in various leagues and just want to learn more, that doesn't make you ineligible or anything, but we are kind of geared toward more of a learning aspect than a kind of like a top-tier, chase the cup competitive scenario. We do want some competition, obviously. That's what makes sporting and games fun, but we are focused on making sure those new guys kind of get used to the format as well. The Stab League coaches have gone on to play in high-profile leagues such as NPL, UPC, and UPA. Those are just some leagues I had off the top of my head. Obviously, we've had guys playing others, but the main thing I want to communicate to prospective coaches, which you guys probably watching this video, is that if you do well here, if you kind of hone your craft, so to speak, you will get some opportunities to play in other leagues that maybe you've heard of and always wanted to join and just need a foot in. Both Danza and myself have quite a few connections in the community, and we can help you kind of get your foot in the door there. What's new in Season 5? That's probably the question that most of you have. Generally, the admins, myself, we kind of try and make some changes between seasons to kind of keep the format fresh and then also improve on what we already have. So the first thing about Season 5 is we have a brand new Platinum tier in the Stab League. Now, if you guys are familiar with us in the sense of how the league is specifically ran, we are an Ubers-based league, and we had, because it's new, we had a Silver and a Gold tier Uber where you chose one from each. Basically, the idea is the really high-powered Ubers like Marshadow and Mewtwo X, those were off in the Gold tier, really high-powered mods there. And then some of the scarier, but maybe not as strong Pokemon, such as Darkrai and Genesect, and I think we had some Greninjas in there. Those would be in the Silver tier, and you could choose one of those as well. New this season is the Platinum tier. And the Platinum tier is actually going to be one level higher than the Gold tier. The main reason for that is this is going to be the last Gen 7 season of the Stab League before we transition over to Gen 8. I'm really excited for that, and the reason, and one of the byproducts of that is that I wanted to make sure that we freed as much power as we could just to see what mods could do. So we are adding some new mods you probably don't see, and even some labeled Ubers leagues. So I'm really excited to get those mods in here and see what they can do. Secondly, Surge format, like I said, is returning. We made some upgrades. We made some changes to the budget. Dan's will get into those details later in this video, as well as our separate explanation on the Surge format. First turn Mega Rule has been reversed. Initially in the Stab League, you had to Mega Evolve the first turn. You sent your Mega Pokemon out. We got rid of that just to kind of diversify the playing format a little bit, just to make some megas more viable, and then add some new concepts to strategy that you can do with them. We have a new draft structure in the Stab League. If you guys weren't familiar with it before, basically how I mentioned the Ubers, tiers, the silver, the gold, even the mega round. Initially, in seasons past, those rounds were structured in the fact that if it was the mega round, everybody was forced to take a mega Pokemon. If it was the gold tier, everybody was forced to take their gold tier in that round. We got rid of that, so now you can take whatever tier, whatever mega you want whenever, as long as you stay in your tier restrictions. But the main idea behind that was that it would free up some draft structure of how people want to build their teams. Maybe you want to get your mega first. Maybe you'd rather get a high-powered, quote-unquote, regular mod first. Just kind of up to you. It also worked to kind of narrow the gap between draft picks. The last thing here we have is we're debuting a new token system to increase community involvement. Basically what that means is, I'm sure you've seen in some other leagues where you have, activities and goals you can accomplish in the server, where if you complete those goals, you get tokens and you can redeem those tokens rewards. I think it'll be a really cool experience, and it'll be a really positive and fun way to kind of drum up participation in the league, not only within the battles, but also from a social aspect as well. So I'm kind of excited to kick that off. The Stab League, this is me. We got Gen 7 draft format. As you guys know, we're still in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Again, we are an Uber Space League, but from now it is mostly Gen 7 rules. 16 teams, again, we had that for the first time last season, but it is returning to a full 16-team roster this time around as well. 11 Pokemon teams, that hasn't changed. You have 11 total Pokemon. It is a free draft, bar those Uber tier restrictions. Along with that, so Uber tiers, gold, silver, platinum, so there's 3 tiers. Team composition wise, you choose 1 mega, 1 Uber from gold, 1 Uber from silver, 1 Uber from platinum, and 7 non-Uber Pokemon. Basically with that, you still have your 11 Pokemon. It's just split up a little bit differently. 2 things to mention that actually aren't on here. If you choose an Uber Mega, that basically replaces one of your Ubers, so you don't get a Mega and another Uber, but you will still have the same amount of slots. And then also, Z moves, the way we handle those are you have an option between 2 non-Uber Z users or 1 Uber Z user. That's generally how we do it. Uploads, I know that's a common thing among leagues. We know you guys are busy. We know some of you may not have a lot of time, which is why uploads are not required. They are encouraged. Basically, we still think that uploading and getting people used to our name is a way to grow exposure for the league. We do have resources available for people who do want to upload, but that is not in any sense of the word a requirement. So don't feel discouraged thinking that you may not be able to apply for the league if you don't choose to upload, because that really has no bearing on it if you're going to make it over another person or if we're going to accept you at all. I'm going to turn over to my boy Danza. He's going to go over some of the Surge League specifics.
Alright, so Surge is going to be making a tournament. It's going to be pretty exciting. It's a new format based on draft, a spin-off of draft format. It'll be explained in more detail in another video, but we're carrying it out again. So we got a 10 coming up, 8-point draft. Of course, we'll have anywhere from 2 8. And that is purely up to your decision. If you want to run with 6 and you get a month out of that, that's fine. But if you go to 8 and diversify your team a little bit, that's fine too. So your team composition will be based on a budget the first week of 30 points. That sounds extremely low, but that's the point of Surge, obviously. The budget will grow over time, and you're allowed to make the transactions at the end of each week. So you can build your team up as you go along.
It's down from 50.
Yes, that is important note as well. We originally started with 50, which we thought was too high, so a lot of people had a ton of fun with the Surge format. The only comment that was, serious criticism was that they thought the budget was too high. It wasn't. They didn't get to use as many fun lower tier mons, but now we're lowering it to 30, and we're going to make it increase more slowly to smaller points. So that way you get to enjoy using low tier mons, probably a couple high tier by the end. So with that as well, it will be uploading Courage as well, but obviously that the equals individual available.
All right, so probably the next most important thing, other than the changes from season 4 to season 5, you guys probably want to know the timeline, what we're looking at, when is the draft going to start, when is the season going to start, when am I going to have to be available, when am I going to hear if I make it, if I make acceptance into the league. We're going to go ahead and jump into that right now. So the first date of relevance here is June 5th, which is today, because obviously you're seeing the video today. So the application is officially live. Now, that'll run until June 21st, give you guys plenty of time to fill out the application. It is a bit longer than probably most apps you are accustomed to, right, Danzo?
Yeah.
So, take your time on it. Don't expect to finish it in one season. In one season. That would be awful. In one sitting, and it's not going to take you an entire season's worth to finish the application. Don't worry. But sit down, enjoy the application, send it in. You'll have until the 21st, so that's a little over 2 weeks. I think that's 16, 17 days. Second kind of second phase of this process here will be June 22nd to June 27th. Basically, I'm going to sit down with my search committee. We're going to go over the apps. We're going to look at who applied. We're going to look at your qualifications, look at your skills, look at what you can bring to the Stab League. Because generally, there's really about, I would say, 2 to 3 factors that kind of influence your ability to get in. We're not going to turn you away because maybe you're not the best at battling. This is a league that's structured to allow people to learn. So that is probably weighed the least. But I would say it's a combination of battling skill, your effort on the application. So if you sit down and take your time, make some quality answers, that'll definitely do nothing more than help you a lot. And then thirdly would probably be what we see from you as far as what you can add to the league socially. Now, after that's ready to go, after we've chosen, whose applications are the best, we're going to start doing interviews. Basically, the interview process, you're going to sit down with either myself or one of the other admins, which includes Dance, so maybe you'll get him. And we're going to talk to you and kind of figure out from that way. And then if you make it through that process, you'll be added to the server and you'll be an official member of the Stab League. Now, July 7th through July 13th, that's a week, for the Stab League draft. The reason I did not immediately go after June 27th is that's 4th of July weekend, and I know that a lot of people, travel during that time, spend time with family. I didn't want them to have to force themselves to squeeze in time to attend the draft. It is also a slow draft, as you see there, by the kind of week that you're given. Now, a lot of people, I know, feel forced in a sense of, if I have to be available for this day, if I, at this time for this many hours to get the draft done, that's not really fair. But in the same vein, a lot of people see slow draft and they're afraid because sometimes picks take 3 or 4 hours. Trust me, I've been a part of many slow drafts. I know how to manage time, and it'll be an enjoyable experience that'll give everybody enough time to draft and also get it done in a timely manner. So then the last relevant date is obviously the June 14th is the week 1 start date for the Stab League. Now, for you Surge guys who are really interested in the Surge format, this is probably something I should have put on there, but generally, because the Surge format has less games than the Stab League, they'll start a little bit after us, so Danza will have something out to you guys at a later date, but generally, it'll be within a week or 2 of the Stab League dates here.
Absolutely. And while we're waiting to start up, I will be cooking waffles.
Yes, Danza makes the best waffles. Maybe you can put down your waffle maker, Danza, to address some of the specifics about the application.
Yeah, I probably should unplug this right now and stop cooking. Alright, the application itself. So, everyone needs to fill out an application in order to be picked for Season 5, whether you know us or not. Everyone has. So each prospective coach will have to complete at least one section. So there are going to be 2 sections. Stab League, Surge League section. If you're interested in only one, then have to fill out one. Sure, or both. Just go through the whole thing. Once again, Stab did say it would take a whole season to fill out. I'm just kidding. So it won't be too long. There's that, and the link to the application, of course, description below. And the applications are going to be due at 11:59 or essentially midnight on June 20th. This is the summer solstice.
Summer solstice, for those of you who didn't know. So Danza covered it pretty well. The only thing I think I would add is section 1 just asks a bunch of like general questions like your team name and if you have draft experience, and then we have a specific section for the league you're applying for that asks some more relevant questions to that type of material. Anyway, guys, that is all we have for you today. Hopefully you're excited about season 5 like I am, and you guys are ready to go. And if you guys are interested in Surge, it's a fun time, so you can check that out as well. Anyway, thank you, Danza, for being on here today. It was very helpful, and
I'm happy to.
anyway, guys, hope to hear from you, and I think that's it. We're out.